Okay, I have a number for you. And I want you to really just sit with it for a second, because when I saw this in our research packet for today's deep dive, I actually stopped reading.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
I had to put the paper down. It made me physically wince. Are you ready?
I am. It is a heavy one. Go for it.
1 year.
Mm-hmm.
The average person spends 1 full year of their life just looking for lost items.
Staggering, isn't it?
But-
You framed it like that.
Whole
Yeah.
year. It is horrifying. I mean, think about what that actually is. We are not talking about a year spent, learning an instrument or on vacation.
Or sleeping even. Something useful.
Literally anything restorative. No, this is a cumulative year of that frantic, heart-pounding panic.
But pocket padding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Patting your pockets for keys, rummaging through that drawer of tangled cables for the one charger that actually works.
Though that drawer. Everyone has that drawer.
Everyone does. Or digging through piles of paper for that one tax form you swear you put right on the counter.
And it's always when you're already running late.
Always. And looking for clothes, the
Yeah.
clothes you bought, but they have just completely vanished into, the abyss of the closet.
It's so true. And, it's not just the quantity of time that's lost, is it? It's the quality of that time.
Oh, it's the worst quality.
No one is happy while they're searching for their car keys.
Yeah.
It's a period of time that is it's defined by panic, by frustration.
Sweating.
You're sweating. You're probably yelling at your spouse or your kids. It is the lowest quality, highest stress time imaginable.
It is the absolute worst kind of time. And that right there, that leads us directly into what we were trying to unpack today.
Mm-hmm.
Because on one hand, you have this massive inefficiency, this mess that literally eats an entire year of our lives.
All right.
And for most people, the solution, cleaning, decluttering, organizing, it feels like a punishment. It's a chore. It's something you avoid until you absolutely can't anymore.
That is the standard human reaction. Yes. Avoidance, dread, procrastination.
But, and this is the part that gets really, really interesting, there is this other group of people. And the source material we're looking at today, it just highlights this paradox so perfectly.
I know exactly what you mean.
For some people, decluttering doesn't feel like work at all. It feels, well, the word they use is addictive.
That's the word that keeps coming back again and again in the research. Addictive.
They don't do it because they have to, like when guests are coming over.
Yeah.
They do it because it gives them a rush. They feel relief. They actually feel joy.
Right.
So the mission for this deep dive is to figure out why. What is happening inside the brain of someone who actually loves to organize? Because we are not here to give you cleaning tips.
No, absolutely not. We're not going to be talking about, which direction to fold your socks or what kind of clear plastic bins to buy from what store.
Not at all. We are investigating the psychological mechanism. We want to know why some people run toward this discomfort and find, of all things, freedom in it. We're looking at the neuroscience of the messy room versus the clean room. Why does one feel like a cage and the other feel like a sanctuary?
And this is such a valuable conversation to have, I think, because it reframes the entire concept of mess.
How so?
Well, we tend to think of clutter as a physical problem. I have too much stuff in this room. I need to go rent a dumpster.
Right. It's a volume problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the research we're looking at, it suggests that clutter is actually a psychological phenomena. It's about what all that stuff is doing to your head, not just to your floorboards.
Okay, so let's dive right into that. The mental cost of clutter. Because the source material uses this phrase that I loved it. Mental weight.
Mental weight, yes. It's a perfect descriptor, isn't it?
It really is.
Yes.
Explain that to me. How does a pile of magazines on my coffee table have weight? I'm not, carrying them around in a backpack all day.
Okay, well, think about it like this. How do you feel when you walk into a room that is just absolutely covered in stuff? I mean, laundry on the chair, papers on the desk, toys on the floor, maybe some dishes in the sink.
Oh.
Does your energy go up or does it drop?
Oh, it tanks immediately. It's like the air just gets sucked out of the room. I feel tired just looking at it.
Right. And your brain, your inner voice, usually says something like, ugh, I'll deal with that later.
100%. Not now.
That reaction, that feeling of, ugh, that is the sensation of mental weight. The experts we're looking at describe clutter not just as objects, but as unfinished decisions.
Unfinished decisions.
Wow.
Okay, let's unpack that a little because that feels profound.
Think about it. Every single object that is sitting out in the pile is demanding something from you. It's an active request for your attention.
So it's not passive.
Not at all. That bill on the counter, it's basically screaming, pay me, deal with me.
Yeah.
That shirt on the chair, it's saying, fold me, or wash me, or put me away. The broken toaster you haven't thrown out yet, it's asking a question. Are you going to fix me, or are you going to finally buy a new one?
So it's not just a toaster, it's a pending task. It's a to-do list item that's made of plastic and metal sitting on my counter.
Precisely. It represents a cognitive load. And even if you aren't consciously thinking about it, a part of your brain is tracking it. It sees it as an open loop.
An open loop?
Yeah, it's like having, say, 50 tabs open on your internet browser.
Okay, I feel that.
You might only be looking at one tab at a time, but what happens to the computer? It slows down, right? The fan starts whirring, the battery drains a whole lot fast.
Right, yeah.
That is your brain on clutter.
That makes so much sense. That explains that feeling of fatigue. You haven't actually done anything yet. You've just walked into the room, but you're already tired.
Because your brain is processing 50 background apps. It's processing a massive amount of visual data, and it's assigning all these little to-do tags to everything it sees. And this brings us right to the neuroscience of overstimulation.
Okay.
Our brains are incredible processing machines, but they do have limits. And when there's too much visual noise, too many signals, too many colors, too many shapes all at once, we experience what's called mental fatigue.
It's sensory overload. It's like trying to listen to a single conversation in the middle of a crowded nightclub.
It is a perfect analogy. And there's a chemical component happening here too. The source material talks about the cortisol connection.
Yeah, this part was fascinating to me. Living in clutter isn't just, annoying or ugly. It's actively keeping us in a state of low-grade stress.
We are marinating in our own stress hormones.
Ugh, that's not a pleasant image.
It's not, but it's accurate. Cortisol is our body's primary stress hormone. And high levels of visual clutter have been linked in studies to sustained elevated levels of cortisol. One major study we reviewed found this was particularly pronounced in women.
So a messy home can basically keep your body in a subtle but constant state of fight or flight.
That's exactly right.
Which is just wild, because your home is supposed to be your sanctuary, right?
It's supposed to be your safe space.
It's the one place where you're supposed to power down, where you can take the armor off from the day. But if it's messy, your biology is actually treating your home like a potential threat.
Exactly. If you think about it from an evolutionary perspective, in the wild, chaos often signals danger.
Oh, interesting.
It means predators could be hiding in the brush, or the environment is unstable. Order, on the other hand, means safety. It means visibility. You can see what's coming.
Okay.
So when your immediate environment is chaotic, your brain struggles to ever fully relax. It can't power down completely. And that's why you hear people use that very specific phrase when they finally clean a room. They say, I can finally breathe.
Yes. I have said that exact thing. Oh my gosh, I can breathe in here now. I always thought it was just a figure of speech, I thought I was just being dramatic.
It's not drama at all. It's a very real physiological response.
Really?
You are literally dropping that mental weight we talked about. The perceived threat level in your environment has gone down. The 50 browser tabs have finally been closed.
So my system can actually relax.
Your system can actually downregulate. Your heart rate might even slow down a bit. Your shoulders might drop. It's a physical release.
So, okay, if we're looking at our first major psychological motivation for why people get, addicted to decluttering, it's basically a drug-free way to lower your own cortisol.
In a way, yes. It is a relief mechanism.
Yeah.
You are actively altering your neurochemistry by altering your physical environment.
And the formula the source gives is so clear.
So simple.
Fewer objects plus fewer decisions plus fewer distractions equals a relaxed brain.
That's the equation.
I love that. It's so simple. And it explains why, for those decluttering enthusiasts, the act of throwing things away or donating them feels so good. They aren't losing the item. They are gaining the relaxation that comes from its absence.
That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
It's not about the object itself. They are chasing the feeling of the lighter mind. They're not necessarily trying to be minimalists for the sake of, a magazine aesthetic.
Right, it's not for Instagram.
It's not for Instagram. They are doing it because it feels good physically and mentally.
Okay, so that's a biological stress component.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
But there is another layer here that I think is maybe even more relevant to the world we live in right now. And that is the concept of control.
This is a huge one. This might be the most significant psychological driver for people in the modern era.
We live in a world that is, well, let's just be honest, it's chaotic.
To put it very, very mildly.
We have economic uncertainty, we have workplace stress, constant political noise, relationship dramas. I mean, most of the big things in our lives feel completely out of our hands.
Completely. We can't control the stock market. We can't control what our boss thinks of us on any given day.
Right.
We certainly can't control the news cycle. We are constantly navigating these massive variables that we cannot influence. And that, over time, creates a pervasive sense of anxiety.
It does.
We feel like passengers in a car that's going way too fast, and we're not in the driver's seat.
So, enter the messy drawer.
Enter the messy drawer, or the cluttered bookshelf, or the disorganized closet. The psychological motivation here is what the sources call the search for safety, through control.
Okay.
When you stand in front of that bookshelf or kitchen cabinets or your closet in that small domain, you are the god of that universe.
I love that image, the god of the cutlery drawer.
But it's true, isn't it? In that small square footage, you possess absolute authority. You decide what stays. You decide what goes. You decide where the spoons live and where the forks live.
Right.
In a life where you might feel totally helpless, organizing a single small space is a concrete, tangible way to assert your own agency.
You're saying I may not be able to control the global economy, but I can control this linen closet.
And this linen closet is going to be perfect. And that act, it creates a sense of emotional safety.
It's a coping mechanism.
It is, and it's a healthy one, generally speaking.
Yeah.
It anchors you. It gives you a win for the day. You can look at the result, the neatly folded towels, the alphabetized spice rack, and you can say, I did that. I created order out of chaos. That is an incredibly empowering feeling for the human brain. It restores what psychologists call your internal locus of control, the belief that you can impact your environment.
It's almost like if the outside world feels like it's spinning too fast, organizing your home is a way to grab the steering wheel, even if you're just steering a very small car inside your house.
Precisely. It grounds you.
Yeah.
It connects you to the physical world and proves that your actions have a direct, visible, positive result.
Which is something we don't always get at work or in life.
Very rarely.
Okay, so we have stress reduction and we have control. Now I want to talk about the third big psychological motivation, because this one feels like a workout for your brain. The source calls it mental strength training.
This connects directly back to what we said earlier about clutter being unfinished decisions.
Right, so the act of decluttering, of actually going through a box of old stuff from the attic, is basically just making one decision after another after another.
Yes. And specifically, it forces you to confront the past in a very real way. Every item you own represents a past decision. You decided to buy it, or you accepted it as a gift, or you chose to save it for some reason. When you declutter, you have to reevaluate that past decision through the lens of your present life. You have to ask the core question, do I still need this?
And doing that over and over again, that's the training.
It is absolutely training for decisiveness.
Yeah.
So many of us struggle with making decisions in our daily lives because we are afraid of making the wrong one. We're afraid of regret.
The what if.
The what if. What if I throw this away and then I need it in 3 years? So what do? We keep the item. We defer the decision. We put it back in the box.
Just in case. The three most dangerous words in home organization.
They really are. But the person who loves decluttering is practicing the art of the definitive no.
I like that.
They are practicing closure. They're looking at an object. They're evaluating its utility or its meaning for their life right now, not in some hypothetical future, and they're making a final call.
So they're building the muscle of trusting their own judgment.
Exactly. It's like reps at the gym. The more you do it with small things like an old t-shirt, the easier it becomes to do it with bigger things in your life.
And there's a joy in that completion, right? That sense of finality.
The joy of completion, yes.
Yeah.
It's the sensation of having no loose ends. When you finally get rid of that broken gadget you've been meaning to fix for 3 years, you aren't just clearing a shelf.
You're closing a mental loop.
You're resolving a pending task that was draining a tiny bit of your energy every time you saw it.
It's the shift from I'll deal with this later to it is done.
And that done feeling provides a little hit of dopamine to the brain. It's the satisfaction of crossing something off a list.
It's a reward.
It's a reward. And for people who declutter regularly, they're getting that reward over and over again, item by item. It creates this powerful momentum of accomplishment.
It's really interesting because it frames decluttering not as an act of losing things, which is how most people see it,
Right, as deprivation.
but as an act of gaining resolution.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Gaining resolution. You are resolving the tension between yourself and your environment.
So, okay, we've covered the internal psychological shifts. But we can't ignore the practical side of this because the source material brings up some really tangible, real-world benefits that reinforce this behavior.
They absolutely do.
And we have to circle back to that statistic from the beginning, the 1-year statistic.
The lost year. Still shocking.
If we spend a year of our lives looking for things, then the simple logic dictates that decluttering is literally a way to buy your life back.
It is reclaiming time. And it's just simple math, really. If everything has a home, a designated specific place where it lives, you stop searching.
The frantic morning search for the keys is just gone.
Gone. You stop shuffling piles to find the thing at the bottom. You stop reorganizing the same mess over and over again just to make space for a new mess.
And you stop rebuying things. I can't tell you how many times I have bought a roll of tape or batteries or a specific screwdriver because I couldn't find the ones I knew I had somewhere in the house.
We've all done it. And that is efficiency. And while it might only save you 10 minutes a day, that adds up. That's over an hour a week.
Which is, what, 50 to 60 hours a year?
That's a full work week and a half of pure free time you just unlocked by knowing where your stuff is.
That is powerful. It's not just about being neat for neatness sake. It's about efficiency. It's about not fighting with your own life every single day.
Beyond just time, there's the concept of energy flow and friction. This is a concept that comes up a lot in behavioral psychology, especially when you're talking about building good habits.
Friction. That's a great concept here. Talk to us about what that means.
Friction is basically the amount of effort required to start a task. So if you want to paint, for example, but your paints are buried in a box in the back of a closet under a huge pile of coats, that's high friction.
You're probably not going to paint.
You're probably not going to paint. The barrier to entry is just too high.
Right. It feels too hard to just get started. By the time I would dig all the paints out, I'm already annoyed and tired, and the creative spark is gone.
But what if your desk is clear and your paints are sitting in a jar right there, ready to go?
Low friction.
Very low friction. You sit down, you paint. A messy space creates high friction for almost every productive activity, except maybe lying on the couch and watching TV.
So productive people, the ones who seem to get so much done, they obsess over their environment because they are consciously trying to lower the friction for the good behaviors they want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your space shapes your behavior. If you want to work out more, don't bury your dumbbells in the garage. Put them where you can see them.
If you want to eat healthier, don't hide the apples behind the cereal boxes.
You got it. Decluttering clears the path for the life you say you want to actually live.
It's like the environment is constantly nudging you. A clean kitchen counter nudges you to cook a healthy meal. A messy counter covered in mail nudges you to just order takeout.
That's it in a nutshell. And then there's the simple, undeniable aesthetic satisfaction. We shouldn't discount the fact that as humans, we are generally wired to appreciate beauty and symmetry.
Clean lines, open space.
Visual balance. For some of the real enthusiasts, decluttering is an art form. They are literally sculpting their space.
And there's a deep satisfaction in looking at a room that just looks, I don't know, resolved.
That's a great word for it. It feels resolved, and it becomes a mirror.
A mirror? What do you mean?
The external space starts to reflect the desired internal state. If the room is clear, bright, and organized, it reinforces the feeling that you are clear, bright, and organized. It acts as a powerful feedback loop.
I love that. As without, so within.
Present.
Okay, this brings us to what I think is the deepest layer of this whole thing. We've done the stress, the control, the time, the efficiency. But the source material goes into something that I think is where it gets really emotional for people. And that is identity.
Yes. This is where the tears happen. This is why you see people crying on those home organization shows on TV.
Yeah. Why is it so emotional to throw away a pair of jeans that haven't fit in 5 years?
Right.
Or a guitar you haven't played in a decade? Or that bread maker you used exactly once back in 2015? It's just cotton and wood and plastic. Why does it hurt so much?
Because you aren't throwing away the object. You're throwing away a version of yourself.
Oof. Okay, say more about that. That feels heavy.
We keep items as placeholders. They're placeholders for who we want to be or who we used to be. Psychologists often call this the fantasy self.
The fantasy self.
The version of you that fits into those skinny jeans is a version of you that you're still holding on to. The version of you that plays that guitar is a cool musician identity that you don't want to let go of, even if you never play it.
And the bread maker represents a wholesome domestic god or goddess version of me.
Exactly. So when I look at that dusty guitar in the corner, I'm not just seeing an instrument, I'm seeing my failure to become a musician.
Or perhaps more gently, you're seeing a past chapter that has closed, but you haven't fully admitted to yourself that it's closed yet.
This is why the Source calls decluttering identity work. It forces you to confront the gap between who you were, who you wish you were, and who you actually are today in this moment.
And that can be really painful. It's a form of grieving, isn't it?
It is a form of grief, but it's also necessary for growth. Because those objects, while you're keeping them, are often functioning as guilt triggers.
Guilt triggers.
Every single time you open the closet and see that hobby gear you never use, you feel a tiny microdose of guilt.
I should really use that.
I wasted money on that. I'm lazy for not doing that.
I'm not the person I thought I was gonna be.
Exactly. It's like a silent Billy living in your closet.
Ugh.
And so getting rid of it is an act of profound self-forgiveness.
Wow.
It's you saying, I am not that person anymore, and that is okay. It's letting go of an unrealistic expectation you placed on yourself.
So the people who love decluttering, they aren't just emptying their house for the sake of it. They are actively curating their life to match their present-day reality.
Yes. They're choosing what the sources call intentional living. And the mantra that one expert gave, which I love, is, my space should support who I am now, not who I used to be.
That is such a liberating thought. Imagine if every single thing in your house was there specifically to support the person you are today.
Right now.
Not the college student you were 20 years ago, not the maybe someday person you hope to be, but the actual you.
It creates this tremendous sense of alignment and peace. You stop fighting with your past in your own living room. You aren't surrounded by monuments to your failed hobbies or past selves. You're surrounded by tools for your current life.
And this leads right into the idea of mindfulness. The Source calls it mindfulness in motion.
It's a great phrase because we usually think of mindfulness as, sitting still on a cushion with your eyes closed, trying to clear your mind.
Which, let's be honest, is really, really hard for a lot of people.
It can be extremely hard. The mind wants to be busy. But decluttering is a very active, engaged form of mindfulness.
How so? What does that look like?
Well, just think about the process. You have to pick up an object, you touch it, you look at it, you have to ask a series of questions. What is this? Do I need it? Does it add value to my life right now? Does it bring me joy?
You have to be fully present with that one object to make the decision.
You can't do it on autopilot. If you do it on autopilot, you're just shuffling things from one pile to another. That's not decluttering. Real decluttering requires a heightened state of awareness. It's tactile. It's immediate. And for many people, that intense focus is very grounding. It quiets all the other noise of the world because in this moment, the only problem you have to solve is this sweater. Stay or go.
It's interesting. It's almost like a form of meditation for people who need to do something with their hands, who can't just sit still.
It absolutely is. It pulls you out of your head, out of the anxieties about the future or regrets about the past, and it plants you firmly in the physical moment.
So after all this, we've arrived at what the Source calls the aha moment, the climax of this whole investigation. When we put all these pieces together, the biology of stress, the psychology of control, the emotional weight of identity, what is the true purpose of decluttering? What are people really doing?
The true purpose is that people who love this aren't cleaning their homes. They're cleaning their minds.
Boom. That's it, right there.
That is the core truth of this whole thing. The people who are addicted to organizing, they aren't obsessed with hygiene or sterility or having a perfect-looking house. They are addicted to the feeling of self-awareness, of emotional release, and of intentional decision-making that the process gives them.
So it's not about the stuff.
It's never about the stuff. The stuff is just the symptom. Dealing with the stuff is the therapy.
And that explains the word freedom in the title of our deep dive. Why decluttering feels like freedom.
Yes, because freedom isn't just about having less. It's about making space.
Okay.
When you remove the physical clutter, you are metaphorically and literally making space in your life. You're making space for clarity. You're making space for peace. You're making space for growth.
You're clearing out all the dead wood so that new things have room to grow.
Exactly. And that feeling, that lightness, that sense of possibility, that is what's addictive. Once you've felt it, you want to maintain it. You realize that you don't serve your things are supposed to serve you.
And when they stop serving you,
they go, that is freedom.
Man, that puts a whole new spin on cleaning out the garage. It really changes it from a dreaded chore to almost a spiritual practice.
It elevates the whole concept, doesn't it? It validates the feeling that so many people have, but maybe they couldn't quite articulate why it felt so good.
So let's wrap this up. Let's summarize what we've learned today, because this went way deeper than just, throw away your old receipts.
We started with that shocking statistic, the full year of lost time. But we realized pretty quickly that the cost of clutter is much higher than just time. It's our mental health.
We learned that clutter is mental weight. It's a physical manifestation of unfinished decisions that keeps our stress hormone, cortisol, high.
And that the act of decluttering is a direct way to lower that stress. It gives us a tangible sense of control in a chaotic world, and it literally trains our brains to be more decisive.
We talked about the very real practical benefits, getting your time back, lowering the friction to do the things you actually want to do, and the simple human joy of a beautiful, balanced space.
And finally, we got to the deep work. How letting go of physical items is actually about letting go of old identities and the guilt that comes with them, which allows us to live more intentionally in the present moment.
So at the end of the day, it's not a chore, it's a form of self-care.
It really, truly is.
So here's the question we want to leave all of you with today, and it's a provocative one. I want you to just look around the room you're in right now, or if you're driving, just think about your home.
And ask yourself, do you love decluttering, or do you avoid it at all costs? And maybe more importantly, what is your current space doing to your mind?
Is it lifting you up with energy and possibility, or is it weighing you down with all those unfinished decisions?
Is it a sanctuary where you can recharge, or is it another source of low-grade stress in your life?
Just think about it, and hey, maybe this whole conversation is the sign you needed to finally tackle that one junk drawer, not because you should, but because you deserve that dopamine hit of completion.
Go get that clarity.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you team clutter or team minimalist? We would genuinely love to know where you fall on the spectrum. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into productivity and the psychology of our everyday lives, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
There is always more to learn and unpack.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the next one.
Goodbye for now.